These are a series of campaign messages that I am composing while I am in the field campaigning as a nominee for mayor of the town of Sleepy Hollow, New York. And I'm going to load these addresses in the form of a surreal talk show on my blog because I need to differentiate the serious demands that we are making as a political party from the somewhat humorous proposals that I am offering the public for redress, permanent redress of the grievance of the failure of the existing government to address our grievances in any way. The reason why we are condemning so many members of the existing government and why I am petitioning them as an aggrieved party is because they will not present the historical legislative record, the historical court record of the nation. They will not give us an orderly listing of publications, an orderly listing of health and safety essential professionals for health and safety services, such as doctors. We need an orderly listing of general and standard fields at the state level of doctors who are licensed to practice in that state. Any medical professional, any health and safety professional needs to be registered in an orderly fashion and not in their arcane maze of network associations, which they consider to be an academic system when it is not. We need orderly listings of professionals so that we can find them in a time-sensitive situation or so that we can criticize them based on what they do, whether we use their product or not. We need our service. We need to list them all so that we can have an orderly academic conversation as a public and as a nation. And the archives need to have the historical legislative record, the historical court record, anything referenced in the historical court record, the historical legislative record needs to be in the National Archives dating back to 1787, 1776, or 1620 when the Virginia and Massachusetts colonies were founded. These are the absolute demands and the grievance which we are attempting to register with the existing government. We are not the ones fighting over the territory of the campus at the university. We're just trying to get public records in public archives put online immediately so that everyone can access them in an orderly fashion, starting with the historical legislative record and the historical court records. A doctor is given his diploma licensed by a university. A university is a chartered institution which is relatively benign if they yield health and safety information to the public. Chartered means there is a public archive in a university so that the doctors, when they practice, can update the best health and safety standards for their general field or their standard practice. This information needs to be in the national or state archives with orderly listings of professionals who practice in any given general or standard field defined by those anomaly emergency response reports that need to be taken from the university archives immediately, as well as the general criminal historical evidence dating back to the beginning of the republic, to the beginning of the founding of the nation, which pertains to crimes committed by doctors as well as capital crimes to war and other kinds of crimes in the law schools, needs to be put in the legislative record and in the court record when it is referenced in a congressional proceeding, as the license of a doctor is referenced, and therefore the definition of the general standard field general or standard field that a doctor practices in is referenced in the legislative record, so that needs to be transposed and put into the archives. So that is the absolute demand that we are making. In addition, we also obviously want the Inquisition and the Turk to stop abducting people and calling them insane when they have a political opposition to the medical establishment. So those are our absolute demands and grievances, but you will also hear me making a number of humorous proposals for the permanent redress of these grievances. which are subject to the opinion and the criticism of everyone when I am able to hear the general political community again, which I am not because of the fundamental injustice of the disorder in the public record and the abduction of neurotic people made neurotic by the disorder in the public record into the religious schools of the Inquisition because they don't want to acknowledge that they themselves are causing neurosis with their disorderly public records.